YouTubers! Mike Martin's here. Mike Martin's channel, your voice of the Commonwealth. Guys, I got a story and a half from you guys. I picked the story up the other day off of Ralphie's channel. Ralphie went live yesterday for the first time, and I ended up catching it. Craig Cook was on as his first guest. They were discussing, talking, and Craig Cook brought up a very important article that he tried to bring up on Mike in the Night when he tried to call in, but we got so tied up with so many callers. But anyways, I got the article here if you guys want to see it. It's kind of important. It's very important because it's going to start off in little areas first of English-speaking countries, and then it's gonna move around and become a thing. And whoa, New Zealand doesn't have it, so why does Canada need it? What am I talking about? David Seymour, why the Human Rights Commission should be scrapped. Now let's hear his argument. He's got a pretty decent argument here. ACT Act says it won't leave the gap to scrap the Human Rights Commission because the New Zealand has no shortage of political debate. Leader David Seymour claims it's a hard-left organization masquerading as a government department after the commission today laid out 39 issues it wants politicians to adopt. So again, there's a lot of things that may be put in the agenda that they allow to, let's say, advocate for, but they can't, but they're going to let it go, or laying out specifics. I don't want to get specific here because I could get in trouble, but you know what I'm saying. Seymour says it would be abolished as it's hard to see what it does to advocate for individuals. So remember, you got a lot of government jurisdictions out there that do exist, but do sweet F all for anything and anybody. So keep that in mind too. In my experience, a local MP, when a constituent needs help defending their human rights, the HRC are nowhere to be found. Now, I believe him in this. I believe this. You know why? Because there's a lot of public sector jobs that need to be filled. And they need to set the example for the rest of, like, look at all these diversity, look at all these people hired. And he's right on this point. But Seymour says the manifesto is clear, evidence that it needs to go, and there's legitimate political debate that doesn't need the commission screwing the scrum. And whatever that means. But basically mixing the pot, making it, So let's look here. Human Rights Commission of New Zealand. Human Rights Commission, the Tangata, the National Human Rights for New Zealand, it operates as an independent Crown entity, okay? And is independent from direction of the cabinet. So basically, it's a Crown entity. It's kind of for the people, by the people, so to say, controlled by the Crown. The commission was formed in 1977 and currently functions under the mandate of the Human Rights Act of 1993. The Office of the Race Relations Counselor, okay, let's go here. The commission's functions include providing dispute resolution services for complaints of unlawful discrimination and racial or sexual harassment. And this is the Human Rights Act of 1993. The Human Rights Act of 1993 is an act of the Parliament of New Zealand that deals with discrimination. It was a consolidation and amendment of the Race Relations Act of 1971. So here, it came into force February 1994. So the act outlawed discrimination on a wide variety of grounds, including sex, marital status, religious belief, ethical belief, color, race, ethnic and national origin, disability, age, political opinion, employment status, family status, and sexual orientation. So this was it came into full force in 1994. Now, here's the deal. Having a human rights commission, I think is very important to have. But when I could see it heavily, tainted and unscrupulous and set up in a way to destroy people's lives. Like, I'm not saying you got to listen to my words very carefully, guys. Very carefully here. This Human Rights Commission, I think, is good, provided it's independent and it's not part of the public sector. I believe that Human Rights Commission is good everyone has their God-given right. And I believe in everyone's God-given right to the freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, to have a voice. That's the right we were given at birth. and God-given right. Now, I'm thinking what the deal is if you go a little bit deep, if you dig a little bit deeper, you start seeing that because we live in this racist society today, that it's not beneficial to have something like this if it's going to be one-sided, or if it's going to just destroy or not really hear what people have to say, or I don't know how to say it. I see it as more of a one-sided protection plan for those who feel they've been offended, so to say. I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to make sense of this, to kind of throw this out there. I get it. A Human Rights Commission is important, but it's got to be. I could sniff what this is going, where this is going. I could sniff it. I sniff it right out, and it doesn't look good. And for them to scrap that because it's unlawful, or it's not presenting a fair case across the board, then we're in trouble, right? So its purpose for what it's supposed to do isn't doing what it's supposed to do, and there's no fair ground, right? I think there's a lot of public sector jobs out there that need to be hacked. HR jobs, like in the city of Vancouver, they got 11 park engineers that go into the parks, the children's parks, and clean them and organize them and replace broken benches and stuff. 11 park engineers, and those 11 park engineers have 433 HR people above them. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Public sector, and then commissions. Could they be distorted? Could they be damaging? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I look forward to reading your comments. Is this guy right to scrap it? Or should they reinstate one that's actually there for the people that's going to listen to both sides? I think this is becoming a one-sided thing, and I think it's becoming a one-sided thing all over the world. And where do we go from here? Not sure. We'll find out on election day in the States, and it's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy and a doozy of a time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching.